Hello, my name is Lynn Smith-Monica. I'm going to tell you how I came about this brain tumor. When before before all that, I will tell you what happened. Then leading up to that, when last June, when my youngest graduated from high school, she was set to leave for the army in July, and and my landlord had sold the house. She lived on the bottom, I lived on the top, but she sold the whole house because so we had to get out, and I stayed with my sister. But um, I only stayed with her a month. Tori was in the army, and she was gone for 5 months, and then I took a bus out to see her graduate as a military policewoman in November. It was a 27-hour bus ride. um, After that, we came back and had Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. And my goal was to get her set up in college. So she found a college that she wanted to go to, and I got her set up in college in January of this year. My goal then was to find an apartment because I was bouncing around from my sister to a friend to my niece and was paying rent to my niece to stay there when this all happened. So my purpose for this all was to find an apartment by the time Tori got done with college. I also was working 3 jobs. I was working as a teacher aide during the day, and evening I was working as a receptionist, and in the on the weekends I was working in a territory. So I was working really hard to get up enough money to get us up an apartment by the time she finished college in May this year. But God had other plans. And this is how I came about my brain tumor. As you can see right now, my face is paralyzed on one side. On the left side, it's not moving. So bear with me on what you can understand. I will try to be um, clear, but I do have some limitations. Okay. On February 8th, I was not feeling good. I made it through the school day, which was a Friday. I made it through the school day, but then I went to work as a receptionist, and I really wasn't feeling good. And my boss told me I could go home because she could tell that I wasn't feeling well either. So after I checked in the last client, which happened to be somebody I work with um, at school, after I checked her in, it was about 8 or 5. I went to the Family Dollar store, which is located right next door. I had to get like something for a cold or head cold. That's what I thought I was getting sick with. So then I went to a Family Dollar store and I said hello to the cashiers, and she went one way and I went another, and I fell down. And then I could only see everybody. I could not speak and I could not move. So it was very hard to get help. I lay there for about a minute and a half or two or something like that. I don't really know how long I was really down. But they were all talking. Um, an extra cashier went over to the H&R block because I had my name badge on, and they came over and gave information to the ambulance and people, and um, the my cousin was my niece was called um, to come down and meet us there, and she was on the phone with her mom, which is my sister, and my sister is my HCP. She's my healthcare proxy. So she was giving information over the phone um, to her while the ambulance was loading me up. I do remember that I threw up after I fell down. So I vomited in the store. I don't remember the ambulance ride to the hospital, but I do remember the hospital held up a picture and I was supposed to tell them what was happening in the picture. Well, obviously I couldn't talk. So the doctor said, "Is the lady washing dishes?" And I pointed to the lady washing dishes. So he knew that was okay. When you have a stroke, your eyes go up and down simultaneously. When you have vertigo, they go side to side simultaneously. Mine were not. Mine were going like this, all over in circles. It was just terrible. And the doctor told my sister that there is something major in the head wrong with her. We are not equipped to take care of it, and we will have to send her to a hospital that specializes in that. So I was loaded in the ambulance again. And they had taken a CAT scan of my brain and they told her there was a mass on my brain, but they wanted to verify it with the hospital I was going to. So I was loaded up and we drove up there and I was sleeping the whole time, but I was awake when we got to the ICU, sorry, ICU unit of the hospital. That's where they took a CAT scan and told my sister that it was a mass on the brain, but the doctors wanted to do an MRI to confirm it. So all night, it's now like 1 o'clock in the morning. I just did the CAT scan. Now it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I just went for the MRI. I did not get much sleep, but I really didn't know what was going on either, so it didn't really matter. When he confirmed that I had a mass on the brain, he said it was a sonoma, a vestibular acoustic sonoma tumor. They grow very slow, but they can paralyze or kill you eventually if it gets into some major organs. Mine was located in the back of my head, 3 inches deep, and it was very close to the brainstem. It was probably only the width of a fingernail away from the brainstem. And what happened was a cyst on the outside of the tumor had burst and touched the brainstem, and that's what made me go down, lose my balance in the store. Then, um, uh, after they confirmed it, they said we have to get the bleeding under control because my head was bleeding out. I was of the tumor. It was making everything bleed. And then when they got that done, that was February 8th or 9th, whatever you want to call it. This all started February 8th. When they got that under control, they decided to do surgery on February 13th. It was 10.5 hours long. My aunt, my sister, and my 2 children were there. It was a very long day for them. It was not a long day for me because I was asleep and didn't feel a thing. But they said the tumor was 3.7 centimeters. If it had grown to 4, they would not attempt surgery because it would be too close to the brainstem. And they, as it is, they didn't get all of it near the brainstem. So there is a little bit um, in there still, but it's not touching the brainstem. If it grows back, which is 99.9%, they don't. But if it does, it could grow off of that little part that's a tumor. The sonoma tumors are usually benign. Mine was benign. But so I was in the hospital for a month. I was in ICU after the surgery for about 4 days. I do not remember those 4 days. Being under the anesthesia for 10.5 hours, it took me 4 days to get normal again, to to talk and know what was going on because I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to get the anesthesia out of my system. I was a normal person before my surgery. Like I said, I was working 3 jobs, and um, I raised my children by myself, and I was very independent. It is very hard to go from independent to dependent because we raise our children to go from dependency to be an independent adult. I've never needed anybody in my life to help me do anything financially, around the house, or nothing. And so this was a real big blow to me. And this was serious. It was the day that changed my life because I'm not the same person I was. I was very confident. I was a teacher to your children. I worked really hard to for my own children, and I just was doing the normal thing. I was trying to get used to the emptiness syndrome. I think maybe some of that might have helped with me bouncing around because I um, couldn't really, what do you call it, stabilize myself to a certain point. But I was trying to find an apartment. I just didn't have the money yet. Anyway, I was in the hospital for a month up there at the one hospital that did the surgery, and um, I was 4 days in intensive care after the surgery, and then I moved to the regular part of the hospital for a week and a half, and then I moved to rehabilitation part of the hospital. Had I known that all of this would have happened, I probably would not have had surgery, to tell you the truth. They did say it would kill me between 3 and 5 years if we didn't take it out. But this has disrupted my whole life so much that I'm very embarrassed, and uh, I hate the disruption in my life. My left side of my face is paralyzed, along with my eye. I was wearing a patch on my eye for a long time, like 3 months. After 3 months, I had surgery again on June 12th to put a weight in this eye so that it would close together with this one. My face, I only can feel on this part. I cannot feel anything on this part. I'm on a special diet of liquids, mostly, because they don't want something to get stuck here and I will not know it and then I will aspirate and whatever. So that is different for me. Then I came to a rehab after 2.5 weeks because the hospital up there, the good one, would not let me go unless I was 24/7 care. So then I was brought to this rehabilitation center. And because my sister had worked here, she was able to talk to the doctors up there and get it somehow managed was that I could come here. She since got another job and she's gone. But I've been here since March 11th, and um, they can only release me if I am wheelchair safe. I cannot walk. Walking is very hard for me. I can't keep my balance. That's the problem. Why I cannot walk. Um, that is another thing from the surgery, the imbalance. Um, now, now I only am wheelchair bound until I learn how to walk again, but I will have to really study that and practice and have real care. I have involuntary movement of my mouth and my lips, and you can probably see it when I talk. I don't like that either. Um, then when I was when I was brought to this place, I was on 8 different medications. Within 2 weeks, I was down to 3 medications. That's when all the problems started. Because when I was up at the hospital, I was able to walk with the walker, but with somebody holding on to the gate belt of me. I had to wear a gate belt, and I was able to walk. I was very clumsy, but I was able to walk there. Here, after they took away my meds, and they only went down to 3 meds, that's when we started noticing some differences in what I could do. Um, we were we were very scared that maybe I had regressed a little bit, and we didn't. That wasn't our goal, but it happened. When I came out of surgery, a couple other things happened too. I did not know how to make a G, a Q, or an L. So I had to learn all that again. I had to learn what things stick to the refrigerator, what they were called. And I had to learn what these were called because for 3 days I went through all my body parts, but I couldn't remember what these were called. It was frustrating. And I get very frustrated when I can't do something that I could do before. But it's a new life for us, tumor survivors. Um, then, when they find a suitable apartment for me, I will be discharged by the wheelchair and I will have home help then. When I went for doctor's appointments in the last 5 months, because I'm still recovering, every time the doctor said that I could not go back to work, I just rolled. And that was like March that I couldn't go back to work because I couldn't walk and I couldn't talk the right way, and all of this stuff was happening to me. I was very sad. I wanted to go back to work so bad and see my kids in the classroom. Then in April, when I thought I was going to be back to work, the doctor said you have to take the rest of the year off. And that killed me. I bawled, bawled, bawled. I hated that. That was the worst thing that he said to me. And this whole process is that I couldn't go back to work. I have been taken out until 2020 because he thinks that I need more therapy and I will not be ready to go back. I am aiming to go back in September. He can write another note releasing me, but I don't know if he will. And I don't know if I will ever walk again. To go back to school, you need to be able to walk down the hall when the kids and chase them. That is something I'm not sure is going to happen anymore. When you are a receptionist in the job that I was working at in the evening, you have to be able to talk on the phone correctly. And some of my speech is very slurred and you cannot understand it. So I would not be able to professionally talk on the phone or even in person with them trying to understand me in person. That job is gone. The job at Dollar Tree, cashier is gone because you have to stand 4 to 5 hours behind register. So this has really, really turned my life around, upside down, every which way you can think of. I have identified with a lot of people that have stories close to mine. And a lot of the things that happened during the surgery and after the surgery were, were things that I'm going through too. Some of them are 2 years out of surgery already, or a year, and there's been no recurrence for them. A way that I um, a way that I express my emotions and how I'm dealing with this is I write poetry, and I don't know how else to to say it to anybody. These 5 months, I have been secluded and I haven't gone out into public because I am embarrassed. I did take my daughter to Friendly's for lunch, and I thought that I maybe would order soup because I could eat that easily. I can only drink through a straw right now because I can't hold liquid in this side of my mouth to just make a mess. So then I um, took her out. I ordered soup, and there was maybe four different people around. When I got the soup, I stared at it for 20 minutes. And my daughter said, "Mom, why are you not eating?" And I couldn't eat. I froze because I was so nervous about everybody else looking at me. I know I'm different, but I don't expect everybody else to understand. Sorry. Um, we finished, and I was brought back to the rehab, and then the second time that I went out was with the activity lady in the rehab center that went to Walmart. And she said she knows my family personally, so she said, I will be with you the whole time. I was nervous to go to Walmart because people that have seen me in my before life, I was afraid to see me in this life. Then I went to Walmart with her and I saw two people. One was from the H&R Block where I was receptionist. But the other one was, I don't remember who it was that I saw. But then I was able to get what I need, and I went back to the van very quickly so nobody else would see me. And those of you that have been through this understand the emotional part of this tour. If you have not been through this, the best way that you can support us who have gone through this is please don't judge us because you don't know what we've been through. And it's very hard because we're already self-conscious. And we just want to say, I'm fine to you when you ask how we're doing. But inside, it's very hard to get used to this person when you have a life change like that. I mean, it happened in a split second. My whole life changed that day. And I wasn't ready for that. Obviously, I'll never go for a brain scan. You don't go for brain scans once a year. So I didn't know anything about a tumor. I did have two symptoms that I brushed off and thought it was something different. I got migraine headaches, and I thought, oh, it's just because I'm working a lot and I'm working three jobs, and I, I just rushed it off as that. And I was excessively tired. And I thought that was another reason why I just don't have the energy like a 20-year-old. So I was sleepy. I was very tired all the time. Those are the only two symptoms that I can think of that would have alerted me to having a brain tumor. Um, a lot of people have found out that they have a brain tumor by accident, like I did. Instantly going through all the emotions that I'm going through. I would tell you that night when he said something about surgery, the two words I heard were brain tumor and surgery. That's all I heard. I don't remember anything else what the doctor said. I just remember those two words. And it was very hard for me to get used to that. So I will put up pictures to show you the progression of my um, illness from the time that it happened. And you can see uh, how much I don't know how much I've adjusted to this lifestyle. It is a brand new person because I'm not confident like I was. I don't look normal. My talking has improved, that's for sure. I can't eat normal foods. I crave tacos and pizza so bad. You won't even believe it. Um, Most of the time, they have to give me milkshakes or ice cream or yogurt or something like that, or popsicles, because that's the kind of diet I'm on until the facial muscles get stronger and they're able. I can feel that I have uh, something in there to eat. Right now, I just feel on this side. It has put my face over, as you can tell, to the right. They said the tumor was um, squishing everything in the brain to the right side. So cognitive, that may be um, why I'm not able to do certain things. Um, I honestly don't know if I would have had the seizure. I mean, if I would have had the surgery, if I had known all this was going to happen. So, um, I, truthfully, that's what I say. I just don't know that I would have said yes. I did tell the doctors, if you let me go, I may not come back. So they were for sure not going to let me go. But what I want you to get from this video, if anything, is please don't judge us because I don't know what we've been through. And we might look funny, but have some compassion. Have patience when they try to talk to you because they are trying to find the words to complete their sentences, like me. That was one thing I couldn't do, find words to complete sentences. So if this helps you, I'm very glad to do this. If it helps you as a caregiver, I would say just be patient and supportive. Thank you.